EA lately has been getting a lot of flack. For good reason. They have made a mess out of Battlefront 2. And everyone saw it coming. But in the shadows, lurking off to the sidelines, is the other major corporate publisher of the video game world. And that would be Activision. Activision has come up with a patented program that involves matchmaking in their online games. What's one of their online games? It might be a small franchise you might have heard. They hardly ever release games for it. What's that one?
Halo.
You're not playing along.
It says Call of Duty.
It's COD. It's only the biggest multiplayer ever game. Words don't work right. Biggest multiplayer shooter, definitely, in gaming history. Because they release a game every year. So they have this plan. Did you want to go over the details of the plan, or did you want me to do it? Because you just watched the video, but...
So, basically, what this patent does is it will put players who are both good at the game and have made purchases with real money to get better equipment up against people who either just started out playing the game or people who are just bad at the game. And
people who haven't made purchases. Or made many purchases yet.
And basically, and this is in the patent, what it's supposed to do is make the people who are either new, haven't purchased any games with real money, or any weapons or other equipment.
Unlockable stuff.
Right. Via microtransaction. It's supposed to make them, get upset, get angry, and then want to get those kinds of guns and weapons the same way.
Right.
So then, it's just, and then as soon as they get, or if they do choose to make a microtransaction to get those guns and equipment, the game will then make it to where they become the good person who goes up against people who don't have the same equipment or have worse equipment than they do, to make them feel as if they're actually a good player and can actually, shoot well, when in reality it's just them rewarding you for purchasing something by making you go up against, your 13-year-old neighbor down the street who plays Call of Duty because everyone in his middle school plays Call of Duty. So, what it basically is promoting cyberbullying into matchmaking.
It's also creating a class war, for crying out loud. It's the
really
haves
is.
and the have-nots.
It's the pros and the people that can afford to spend money on stuff like that and have it be like nothing, against the people who either can't afford it, or they just got the game and they're maybe not that great. They end up getting matched with these pros or people who buy this equipment.
Right.
And then they feel they're going to get angry first off, because if you've ever played a shooter game, whether it's competitive or you're just trying to have a fun time, it always ends up becoming a competition, and you end up getting angry when you lose, or angry when you get just the snot beat out of you. And when they see and you can normally see what the equipment is that the other person is using when the game ends.
Mm-hmm.
And when they notice that, oh, that's the same kind of gun that was promoted in the store, they probably just purchased it. Well, if I purchase it, then I'll do better. And the game will make them think that by putting them against other people that haven't purchased those weapons, or people who are just bad at the game.
In a nutshell, it's super sleazy. it's going against the whole principle of matchmaking. Like they're trying to. The algorithm is supposed to match you with people of your similar skill level and similar, win ratios, lose ratios, that kind of thing. Not to take these souped up pro players and put them up against scrubs, because, okay, it's obvious that if you start out in a game, you haven't bought anything, and you're just learning the ropes, and you're terrible. Yes, that's going to be discouraging, and they're hoping that that's going to encourage those players to buy stuff. But what if you're the totally ramped up player who's just killing scrubs all day long? How long are you going to play a game like that?
There's a lot of people that do that.
They just like getting the kills?
Yeah.
They're not really playing for a challenge or anything?
It's enjoyable for them because they get to win. There's going to be someone... For as wrong as this system is, there are going to be people who enjoy it simply because they win.
You're probably right.
And then in the end, that's what those people care about in playing games like that. Whereas there's some people that just want to have a fun time playing with some friends after either school or work, just want to relax and play, some video games, and then get the absolute mess beat out of them because people went out and spent $5 on a gun, possibly a camo pack, and some equipment that you can't normally get.
Now, and it's a patented algorithm. It hasn't actually been put into practice that we know of yet, but it is something that Activision is thinking of doing. And honestly, what they're thinking of doing that is going to make them more money, they typically end up doing.
I was gonna say, no one makes a patent for something and then just throws it away. They're definitely planning on using it.
And it may not be now. They may just wait for the attention to die down, and then all of a sudden, like, people are going to notice it in like maybe 2 Call of Duties from now. But yeah, it's this definitely sounds like the next evolution in the whole microtransaction debacle that we're going through. They're going to wait for this storm to die down, and then they're going to probably silently put it into place. But that is terrible. I mean, it's no secret, if you follow this podcast, you know that I am no fan of online gaming, but that is just wrong. That's taking any kind of sportsmanship out of it, and it's just basically turning it completely play to win at that point. And that's what this whole thing with Battlefront and EA was about. But we'll get to them later.